okay?
Hi everyone, I hope you're doing great and you had a great week and you have been doing something to help Bernie get elected. Today I'm going to start a new series within my interviews. Within my videos, I'm going to do an interview and I'm going to interview an amazing woman, Anoa Chang. And Anona is here volunteering her time for this amazing cause that is Bernie Sanders. Hi Anona, how are you doing?
I'm doing
Anoa.
well. How are you doing?
Good, great, thank you. So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, originally I'm from New York. I lived in New York City till I was about 10, and then my family moved to Chicago. And I was in Chicago for middle school and high school. And then I went to the Ohio State University, go Buckeyes, for undergrad and graduate. I got my bachelor of sociology and a graduate degree in city and regional planning, focusing on community economic development. Law school was always my goal, so I continued on and went on to law school at West Virginia University, graduating in 2009 with my Juris Doctorate. So currently, I am the mom of two awesome kids, 11, 14, intern with the FMC. And everything I say here is totally my own viewpoints, not connected to my work at all. So that's just in a nutshell.
Great. Um, what is it that you, as a woman of color, are looking for in a presidential candidate?
Um, as a woman of color, I find that there are many challenges when we're looking for who could best be a voice to represent us because there's so many different issues that affect our daily lives. Yes, we're women, and there are the typical women's issues that come to mind, but we also have other issues pertaining, whether it's racial justice issues, whether it's um, socioeconomic status, whether it's national origin issues. I mean, there's so many different issues that affect us. So it's really a broad range of things. And so I look at people who kind of address as many of those really important items as possible.
Okay.
I really feel like I have to divorce any part of myself to make a decision like who to vote for.
Yeah.
And I really feel like going into this election cycle, Bernie Sanders is the greatest representation across the board of all the different issues that I hold near and dear. He represents the best opportunity to vote my conscience.
Okay. So then, piggybacking on that, what is it about his platform that speaks to you as a woman of color?
Um, I really think that just to step back a little bit, I really think that we often think that we got to get when politicians are looking at okay, this group, we need this constituency to come vote for us. What is the black issue? What is the Latino issue? What is the woman issue? But what a lot of people fail to understand is that there are these intersections in our identity, and we're concerned about so many different things. And I feel that with Senator Sanders, we have someone who's really interested in addressing. I mean, I know you can't solve everything, and it sounds too good to be true, but he really is hitting on so many of the major topics that affect us in our daily lives. From issues, yes, I'm a black woman, so yes, issues of racial justice and pay equity matter to me, but at the same time, we tend to be overrepresented in communities that are affected by environmental issues, whether it's clean access to clean water, whether it is 10th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, and that has a lot of policy issues environmentally involved in that whole incident as well. So there's so many different things that actually affect us aside from the typical black issue or woman issue. There's so many things across the board that Bernie's personal humanist philosophy really speaks to address all those things. And I think it's his personal framing. It's his personal framing as an individual, as a boy from Brooklyn, as a boy from Brooklyn. I think it's his personal framing that helps inform his viewpoint on so many different issues that should matter to all of us, regardless of race, gender, socioeconomic status, etc.
Some women think that because he's a white old man, how can he represent us brown women or
I know
us
that's the
women in
funniest thing, right?
general? What would you like to say to that?
Right. I mean, it's wild. It's like, okay, you're a woman, you're a black woman, um, you have this you have this old white haired little man, but the first thing that gets me about him, he's like this lovable old grandpa. Like I said, he's a straight shooter from Brooklyn. He tells it like it is. Everyone has that uncle or grandpa or someone who will sit you down and is not going to pull any punches. He's going to tell you like it is, but he'll be in your corner no matter what. And I don't think that we need someone there. We don't need someone who's exactly a woman, because just because you're a woman, just because you're a black woman or a brown woman, or just because you may have come here, you may have parents, because we have candidates whose parents were immigrants, right? Just because you may have those similar, what appear to be similar parts of your identity, doesn't mean your personal philosophy, doesn't mean your goals and your viewpoints, your politics are going to be on point, are going to be beneficial for other people who may be similar situated. We have candidates who are the children of immigrants.
Yeah.
We have candidates who had family members who were undocumented immigrants at some point in their lives,
Yeah.
and they still have the politics that don't necessarily lend to addressing those issues in a positive manner for people who may be experiencing those things today. I feel that Senator Sanders is and look past, even though his own personal experiences as a young man, as a young person organizing, whether it's in the South or in New York, or now as he is senator in Vermont. I think he used personal experiences, but he's also open to identifying and understanding where other people are at and using that to leverage for greater change. Because truthfully, to step over, the person that's sleeping on the street, okay, fine, we get to go back to our own home, but that still doesn't overall to American society.
So I have heard many brown women, black women saying, how's it possible that we can relate, or how a white candidate can relate to us? I would like to ask you, because of course I think that is ridiculous. It's not about the color of your skin, but about the principles and about
Right.
what you stand for. So I would like to ask
Exactly.
you, what is it about Bernie Sanders and his platform that speaks to you as a woman of color?
Well, I think just stepping back for a moment, I mean, we tend to get peg hold as if we only care about issues of racial justice or quote unquote black issues, or we only care about women's issues, or we only care about Latino issues, or whatever group we get put into. But it thinking like that ignores the so many different aspects of our identity that are important to us. We are historically overrepresented in low wage workers. We are overrepresented amongst those who do not have adequate or who do not have adequate health care or no health care at all, who are more likely and more susceptible to issues in terms of layoffs, all types of things. So really, when we get pegged into those positions, and when we buy into that imposition upon us that you only care about these things, it limits our ability to understand that there are people out there who, even if they don't look like us or have our same exact background, that person can't possibly be for us. And I think what it is about Senator Sanders is the fact that his personal philosophy, his philosophy that runs through everything that he does, from the time he was a younger guy, organizing, to now as a senator. His personal humanist philosophy about basic human equality, basic rights, and availability to the full promises of American society for everyone. That basic premise allows him to then be able to to give great talking points and wonderful speeches, quoting Martin Luther King and all the yada yada that people tend to do, but to really enact meaningful policy initiatives, to really lay down meaningful programs, and challenge, right, challenge us to engage in a grassroots movement that's not just focused on one issue, but just a broad sweeping change in American society. And I think that we get past focuses on people who look like us, because just because we look the same doesn't mean that our personal philosophies, like you were saying, or our personal viewpoints or our personal values are the same. Okay, well, I think that part of the issue with just focusing on the candidate that might look like you or might have something similar in your background is that just because people have these similar characteristics, maybe similar racially, ethnically, whatever the case may be, does not mean they still hold the same the values, philosophy that actually matter to you when you really think about the things that you think of. Like, my experience as a black woman, as a single mother, definitely informs when I'm looking for a candidate. But at the same time, I'm not going to rule out the cute little old white man from Brooklyn because he's an old white man. I mean, a lot of what Bernie is saying is directly on point and relates to creating sustainable change that I definitely not only support, but am willing to volunteer the little spare time I have to help making sure it happens. Not just in electing him as president, but looking to see what can we do on our local levels, on our state levels, to really start changing the tide, because that's what we're going to need. We talk about a grassroots movement for change. Yes, we need Bernie in the White House, but we need those officials on the local level and state level to make sure that we're supporting all the way up and down the chain these assets. So looking at what we believe in, not just who looks like us, is definitely an important thing to consider.
Of course. So, what would you like to say to other women like you whom still haven't decided who to vote for or think Bernie isn't electable?
Well, I first would like to say if you're thinking about sitting it out and not voting is basically voting for the other person. You definitely need to get out there and inform yourself and make a decision and vote. I think that Bernie Sanders is the candidate that best represents us, and I encourage you to read a little bit more about him. Don't just judge him because you had a bad interaction with a Sanders supporter on Twitter. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that regardless of what candidate support, we may or may not have good interactions with them. But check out his official website, Google him, look him up, read more about him. Don't just look at the little sound bites and articles here or there. Check out www.feeltheburn.org. Great resource, has tons of information, videos, articles. I mean, educate yourself about what's important to you and then go ahead and make that decision. League of Women Voters has report cards on everyone. Um, really inform yourself. We live in a digital age, so finding the information we need is right there and it's very available. And then if you think you might want to put your foot in the water, check out Women for Bernie Sanders 2016 and check out the People for Bernie Sanders. Lots of great information, lots of great people to work with and interact with, and there's even people of color for Bernie Sanders. So even if you're not really sure, they have websites, they have Facebook presences. You can at least tip your toe in the water and interact with other people to see kind of where they're at and find more links and information out there. This is not about putting down anyone else. It's about finding the best person for us. And I believe that's Bernie Sanders. So,
That's right. And my last question for you would be, can you share with people ways in which you are helping spread Bernie's message? Like some things that you're working on and stuff like that?
well, one of the one of the things I've helped doing is I got involved with Women for Bernie Sanders 2016 as a state administrator of one of the state pages on Facebook and also on Twitter, Georgia Women for Bernie Sanders. Also with my own personal, just my blog writing, which is kind of lacking at the moment, but I'm trying to get it together. Writing blog entries. There's a big push starting next week, September 1st, for the month of September, doing letters to the editor for Bernie. So wherever you are, writing a letter to the editor. Why is Bernie Sanders the candidate for us? Because even if the media is not going to cover him, we have to keep pushing the message. We have to keep educating people about him. So really reaching out through social media. And then looking for opportunities to get involved locally with local activists who are heavily involved. One of the big unions here in Atlanta has been organizing. So just trying to see where I can fit in and do more. Again, in the little bit of spare time I have. I mean, as parents, it's kind of hard, but just figuring out where I can help and talking to the best place to start is talking to family members, talking to community members, talking to people. Just you know, that can go a long way. So.
That is right. So, can you just share with us real quick the website for your blog for people that would like to follow you?
Ah. um, that's so bad because I actually don't know the website for my blog, but it is in my Twitter bio, and you can follow me on Twitter at Miss Nono ESQ, and that is so bad because I actually don't know the. But it's on my Twitter account. It's right there. Um, but seriously, I really think That's what we need to be doing. Is to really just to keep involving and engaging people and trying, whether social media, in person. Um, oh, I found it. It's eyesonly11.wordpress.com. So eyesonly11.wordpress.com. And yeah. And we can't let ourselves be pegged into any one position. Sure, I'm a black woman. I'm a young black woman with 2 kids, but I can't, that's not all I am. And we can't let those different check boxes, on a form define who we are and how we vote. So
Exactly, exactly. Well, thank you so much, Anoa, for being here with us and sharing your amazing perspective on our future elections and our candidate Bernie Sanders.
thank you very much for having me. Thank you guys for doing this. This is awesome.
Thank you. I will be doing some more interviews, so if you're interested in being heard, please follow us on Facebook at Grassroots Videos for Bernie Sanders and send us a private message so we can contact you and set some time to do a Skype interview with you. So don't
Okay,
stop the
great.
fight, and remember that when we stand together, we will win. Thank you, Anoa.
Awesome. Talk to you later.
Bye.